Listen, man, it's going to be an amazing day. We are just going to jump right into it. Yep.
Yeah,
So, what's going
fun.
on, man? How
I'm
are
good. I'm good like that.
Welcome to Bookie's Place. It's going to be an amazing day. You know, what we
Yes,
do
sir.
here is we talk about the grit and the grind. We don't talk about the awards or the accolades or whatever else anybody else is talking about. We talk about the
Right.
grit grind to encourage someone. It's an inspirational show to make someone see that if Michael did it, I have no excuse. If they
Yes,
did
sir.
it with everything that they had to go through, I have no excuse. So it's
Mhm.
gonna be all you. This is probably the last thing I'm gonna say. You're just gonna start with your story, and then we take it
Seriously?
from there. Yes, just go. You know, your in case people are watching, if you don't know Michael, Michael is a multi-award winning musician and kind of humble, not all the time, but
Yeah.
you know. So we're just gonna start with the story and
Mhm.
take it from there.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
I feel very privileged to be here. And you always look beautiful, by the way. I don't know. How do you do it, babe? Come on, clap 'em. Oh, fine. Hello.
You can't texting me on the live show.
All right. Okay. Amazing. I find myself as a music, as a songwriter, a recording artist, and of course, performing artist, the minister of the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what Mike Abdul is about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, grew up with parents who were there. They were not looking for too much. You understand? They just wanted to be okay. You know that kind of thing. And yeah, my father loved music, still loves
Mm-hmm.
music. I think his
Mm-hmm.
best guy is still King Sunny Ade. And he also made that man become my best man,
Oh,
in
really?
music growing up. Um, and well, basically that was it. And then of course, then Baba was Jai Jai, but my father liked party, you know. Before we wake up, my father would have left for work. Before he comes back, we would have slept. So we normally would see him at weekends, you
Mm-hmm.
know, probably on Saturday. That's when we see him most.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there was this day my dad, amazing. My dad used to wear a lot of beards. He had a lot of beards, more than
Mm-hmm.
mine. Oh, see,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of beards. Then suddenly, I think he removed the beards.
Wow. Why?
Guess what happened?
What
I just
happened?
saw this man come out of my mom's room. Yes. The guy came out of my mom's room. I'm like, who is this guy? Then my mom just said, then my mom mentioned my dad's name. Ola Baweni. That was how I knew it was my dad.
Why did he cut his beard?
I don't know why he did that. I really don't know why he did that. But he removed everything, including the hair on his head. That's to tell you that, it's just because before we wake up, he has gone to work.
Uh-huh.
Before he comes back, we have slept. So we hardly see him. So we only see him weekends. So
Uh-huh.
when he cut his hair, the whole hair, we didn't just know it was him. Until my mom said, mentioned his name. That's when we knew that, hey, now Paleo, can you imagine? Yeah. So on my mom's side, my mom was a
What
very,
did he tell
still
you?
is,
Did he tell you why he cut his beard?
I don't know. I was 7 years old when he did that thing. I don't know why. you know. My mom was and still is. She
Mm-hmm.
loves prayer. There's nothing she does without prayer. So if you offend my mom, she must put Jesus in the correctional facilities that she have. There will be Jesus there. When she's beating him, "Ìwọ ọmọ yìí lórúkọ Jésù nítorí yẹ." You know, my mom is one of those that started trap music. So she would,
How did you start trap
yes,
music?
now, per stroke of the cane. Ìwọ
Okay.
ọmọ yìí tó bá fẹ́ kí.
They need to pay
And
higher
that,
royalties.
I mean, so she was just like that, very prayerful woman. there is a particular psalm you read before you go out. When you're coming back to the house, there's a psalm she expects you to read also, recite. You know, 5 o'clock in the morning, my mom is already awake. She's already praying. You know, she's praying, and then what she does is that she will also wake us up 5 a.m. Can you imagine? Wakes us up. She knows that somewhere in the middle we'll sleep, but she must wake us. You know, but the amazing thing is that even in our sleep, when she ends the prayer and says, "In Jesus' name we pray," all of us from inside sleep, amen. Everybody,
My family,
you know,
my family too. You know what my
amazing.
parents used to do? They used to trick us. I'm sure
Okay.
because when I grew up, we did it to other people. So they'll be looking at us, say, Bouqui'S sleeping, you know. And then without anybody praying, they'll just say, "In Jesus' name," everybody just
Amazing. So that's it. That's how I grew up for like 16 or 17 years of my life. Was always like that. We wake up to pray and stuff like that. Of course, maybe I had a break when I went to Mayflower School. Secondary school was Mayflower School, so
wow.
yeah, I was with that guy. I was rolling with Taj Larry. I was rolling with him.
True.
So that's that. So I say all of this because when I got to Mayflower School, one thing happened to me. My mom had beaten me so much, trying to correct me for my mistakes. She will even beat you and correct you for future mistakes. That's my mom for you.
You beat you on credit.
You understand? You know, has this happened to you before? See, this has happened to me. My mom saw a child who did something wrong to the mom, and my mom didn't like it. So my mom looked at me and said, "Did you see what that boy did to his mama? If you ever try that with me,
I beat you. Just in case.
She correct you in advance. If you are not careful, you can receive a slap for it for that boy's mistake." You know, amazingly, when I got to Mayflower School, because I was in a boarding house, yeah. So now I had freedom to do whatever. But you know, anytime I had the opportunity, the window to misbehave, I would just hear my mom's voice from home. Michael, Iwamayi. I'm like, wow. And, you know, honestly, that kept me through my 6 years in Mayflower School. That really kept me, you know, through my 6 years in Mayflower School, honestly. Okay, after school, did a little in Obafemila University, gained admission actually, but Obafemila University, I don't know, that school. After like 2 years, they just showed me, say, "This is road one. Just go back home." Road one, go back home. Bye. You know. So I left OAU, and that really devastated me. Yeah, I felt really bad. I gained admission when I was 17, and by 19 they told me to go home. You know, and
why?
For 18,
was there any reason?
Well, it was me. I didn't do my registrations properly. I took ill, and when you take ill, if you're not going to be around, it's better you register it with the school, or else your examination will be recorded as failed. So that's what happened. So I was advised to withdraw, so I left. Now, you know, for a teenager, that's like your achievement. So they took the achievement away from me, and I felt really down, you know, very downcast. I did my JAMB once, I did WAEC once. I didn't combine results, you understand? So I had this pride. So I couldn't even take it that I'm not gonna write JAMB again. Me. The school will call me back. That's what I believed. You know, they will discover they made a mistake. And it never happened. And I was at home like that for 6 years. By the time I decided that, okay, I think this thing is not working, I have to get back to school, my mates had finished service, that finished youth service. And but I still picked myself up. So I I wrote, okay, I wrote the jam again after 6 years. But while I was writing jam, I didn't know that I already had eye issues. I already have problem with my eyes. I had eye defects. So it was at the exam hall, it was tinier than my textbook. So I really could not see what was on the paper. So I knew that I wasn't going to do well with the jam. So immediately after the jam, I just went to Ikoyi and purchased the polyjam form. I filled it for Yaba College of Technology to do electrical engineering. So I took my time. Okay, of course, before the exam, I got my glasses. I did the exam, of course, and I did well. So gained admission to Yaba Tech to do electrical engineering. And amazingly, it was while I was in Yaba Tech, that's where I met members of Midnight Crew. I met members of Midnight Crew there because, of course, there was an existing choir called the Original Love Choir, and anybody that liked to sing, you can join and all that. So I joined. So I met Patricia King, Odoayo Ojo, met Benga Oyebola, everybody in Yaba Tech. And somehow, I always like to say that destiny found us because it was like 70 of us in the choir, but this select few, we always just our frequencies just resonated with one another, and we always found ourselves working together. So at the end of school, we just knew that, man, guys, we had it real good in school, and we do not think it should just end with school. So we decided November 8th, 2001 to take it to the bigger world, and that is how Midnight Crew was given birth to, and then we took off. And yeah, going through Midnight Crew was another, journey because we started off as 11 people. Then I think 2 weeks after we started, 2 people dropped. They said no, they don't think they can cope with school because they wanted to, go further with education. They didn't think HND was enough. They wanted the BSc and stuff like that. So they thought they wouldn't be able to concentrate. So they left, So we had 9 of us left. Going through it, before we knew it, I think 5 people also dropped because it really wasn't easy coming together. We're always coming together like every Tuesday. We'll have meetings, we'll sing and all of that. We didn't have events. There was no program. We did that for 2 years, nothing, that kind of thing. And of course, with time, we started having a little bit here and there, here and there. But before we knew it, we had become 4. Because, of course, some of our ladies got married by some guys from the US, took our ladies away to the US, to America.
What is wrong
Didn't
with
know
you?
that there was midnight in Nigeria? What's that? So
You have something against the US? You have something against
what is that? And that happened like that. And yeah, but there was this period in Midnight Crew's life. That's when we were 4. I think it was 2005. The 4 of us decided to have a meeting to end Midnight Crew. And it was because we didn't think it was yielding anything. We thought the stress was a lot for us, pushing it with our resources and our blood, so to speak. And but we're very prayerful guys, very, very prayerful guys. So 2005,
maybe the other 3 were you and
now we got together. We don't know what happened that night. The meeting was, please, this is our last Tuesday. We will never do this again. We are ending Midnight Crew. That is it. We're not doing this. Let's go and look for work. And well, funny enough, okay, we decided, okay, guys, let's pray. We hold hands and end the group. So we held hands and found ourselves praying, singing songs of praise, and we prayed like that for 3 hours.
Wow.
And we shared the grace. We went home and we forgot to end the group.
Wow.
We forgot to end it. That was the only thing we didn't do that day. We forgot. So amazingly, it was 3 years after that we released the Igwe album. and it was just fantastic. So we always will look back and say, wow, 3 years before the break, we are going to say we're going to quit, you know. But somehow, because the Bible talks about in all your ways acknowledge Him, He will direct your path. I like to tell people that sometimes your way not your own, but your path is of God, because He's the one that will direct, that kind of thing. You already know where you're going to now. Oh, I'm going to the US. You understand what I'm saying? You might just want to buy um, uh, a straight ticket, no stopover. You understand what I'm saying? But God knows better. God is saying, no, I want you to go through Dubai. So He makes sure that the ticket you want to buy does not work. You understand? So the only one possible is the one that will do a stopover in Dubai. And that may just be the place where the man that will change your story is going to meet you. So that's God.
That will change your story.
Why did I do that? Okay.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm going to Dubai.
It's amazing. All right. That is like God directing your path, because of course you already know the way. You know that the way to America is straight. It's the same thing I share with a few guys. I told them, I said, look, guys, the distance between Egypt and Israel is not 40 years. It's not 40 years at all. You understand? But that is the path that God had drawn for the children of Israel, because He knows the generation He wants that should land in the promised land. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just the way it is. So that happened like that.
Sorry, Michael, I have this question. It's like, I'm going to piggyback on what you just said. So was it because that God had written that the children of Israel will go 40 years? Or did it happen because God wrote it, or it was their disobedience that made that happen? What part does my choice play in my destiny?
I believe, okay, let me first of all attend to that. Was it disobedience? Well, amazingly, we will say disobedience. Well, from what we read, we can infer that disobedience was a major part of it. But at the same time, our influences may not count. It could just be that God knows the ending from the beginning. It's just like saying that the world was created in 7 days. That is the way it is put. You understand what I'm saying? But if you look at the whole process of the ecosystem and all of that, it doesn't look like something possible. But that's not to say that it is not possible with God. But at the same time, 1,000 years is like a day before God, So we truly do not know what the process is, or what the thought pattern of God was when He was doing those things. I believe so much. We've had certain cases in the Bible where you record things like, and God puts an evil spirit in this person so that he can disobey. We've had that with the Pharaoh that did not want them to go. We had that also with Saul. So I believe that it is really, really possible that there's a particular generation that God wants to get to that place. If you look at also in the book of Psalms, several times, a lot of the praise they have for God was based on the encounters they had, from Egypt to Israel. So the encounters they had made them, they were able to create legacies and stories for children yet unborn. So they could be able to tell them that this is the God that we serve. He took us through this. He made us go through this. When the Hittites did this, He also did this. That kind of thing. So I believe very much that it's very, very possible that it's a path that God already had for them, seriously speaking. I also know. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So when I'm a script writer, right? I write
I feel
scripts, I write stories, I write stuff. So when I write a story, it is written, it is finished. You know what I'm saying? So is
yes,
it that I live? Listen carefully to me. Is it that I live because it is written that I would do some things and so I do? Or is it that God knew I would do and then he wrote because he knows the end from the beginning? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I
Because
feel
it
you.
could be two scenarios, which means it will be unfair for me to not have a choice in my destiny. And then, oh, it's because I've written Bouquie to be an Agbero. Okay, Bouquie now comes and she's going like a puppet. She doesn't have a say. That's a scenario.
Mm.
The second scenario is it that God knew that Bouquie would do this, and then he now said, okay, at this time, Bouquie will, it's like coming to your house and your little niece. If you put that candy there, she will eat it. You don't need
Okay.
a predict. You don't need anything. You know that that's what he's or she's going to do. So this destiny thing is just what I'm trying to. Is it preordained? And so I do. You know how they say, because I'm a dog, I bark. Is it
Yeah.
because you called me a dog that I bark, or I bark because I'm a dog?
Amazing. I like. I feel you. Okay.
You know what, guys, if you have an answer to that question, just type it. Let's even look at it. Let's think about it. Is it that it's preordained and so I have no choice in it? Or it's because God knew that Bouquie would make these decisions. That's why he already wrote it. That, okay, Bouquie will do this. So
Amazingly, well, definitely some things are preordained. Definitely some things have to happen the way God has said they will happen. Definitely. I also know that even in the midst of the definite, there are certain things that you ought to do. And those things are also in your hands. And if whatever you get will be the result of your efforts. Honestly, I don't know why I hinge so much on that part of Jeremiah that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Now, that part that says, lean not on your own understanding simply means that we acknowledge that you have your understanding, but don't lean on it. You actually should have understanding. But it says, don't lean on it. It still says that in all your ways, acknowledge him so that he can direct your path.
Mike, I was saying before you came on, it will be unfair. The God I
Yeah.
know is not a puppet master. It's not just going to say, oh yeah, you are going to be an agbero, a murderer, jobless, homeless, killing people on this. God is not like that. And then that's my destiny. And because of that, all those Ogunde movies, they now put the Ayomo in my hand, me too, I'm not coming to the world to be a murderer. What does my choice play in the part?
Well, honestly, I believe this is the way I look at it. I believe that we are products by a manufacturer, or I can say that we can liken us to that. And every manufacturer, when he has made a product, what he does is he writes a manual, a manual of operation, so that you know how to use it. So I try to tell everybody, any product that does not know its function will malfunction. If a product does not know its function, it will malfunction because you don't know what to do with the product. And I also try to say that the manual of everybody's destiny, honestly, is in the hands of God. It is better not to grope in darkness. The only way to find purpose is to first find God. The first thing to do to find purpose is to find God, because in God is your purpose. That's just the way it is. See, I know it feels like, oh, he's got a puppet master and stuff like that. But see, eventually, from beginning to the end, you are made for his purpose, for his pleasure. Background. It's for his pleasure. It's just like that. You understand what I'm saying? And then his thoughts towards you are not of evil, they are of good. You understand? To give you an expected end, a future and a hope. It's just him. It's just the way it is. It's constantly, consistently thinking about mankind. He thought so much about mankind that after he gave the laws, after he helped with the laws and man failed with laws, he gave grace. He gave grace. He said, hi, these people cannot, their body is corruptible already. Don't worry. Let me do something else. Let me look for another thing. I'm going to give grace. I'm going to give Jesus to them. And that's what he did. So that he's no longer looking forward to our righteousness, but he's looking at the righteousness of Christ in us.
Yes, looking through Christ. Yeah.
That's what he's doing. So he decided to do that. So that's the way God thinks for us. So honestly, like I said, if you must find purpose, the first you must do is find God and seek to know what his purpose for your existence is. And it is really, really possible to know because God speaks.
Huh. Double to Ali, Baba. No, but really, these are questions in people's minds. People don't understand that. And this is because a lot of people that have, presented God to them, they've presented God through the screen of what they believe. So when if I'm a hip hop artist and I become a born again Christian, if I preach to you, I will use what I know, hip hop music, to win you. That's what I understand. If I'm Fuji Apala, whatever, I'm not going to now change and start singing blues, because it's a stereotype thinking. So a lot of people have presented God through their mindsets, their minimal thinking, because there is no way you will present God to someone, the God that I know, and then people will reject him. People don't really reject God. They reject the people that brought the message. Correct. And so the message is tainted by the person that brought it. And you call yourself a Christian. I'm Christian, you're rubbish, just because of one person. No, it is true. And it's happening even here in America. The racism and everything that's happening is probably because they had a contact with one black person that just changed their impression. Do you understand? And it happens. It happens. You might meet an Indian, and then he does something wrong, and because of that, you judge every Indian. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. There is no way you will meet the God that I know, and you will hate him. He does not put rules on you. He does not put unreasonable restrictions on you. Everything he tells you not to do is for your own good. And actually what you said, because I like to break things down. What you said about the manual. Manu in Greek means manufacturer. Al means the mind. So manufacturers. So the manufacturer makes something and gives you, do you understand, the manual? This is what I had in mind. If you operate according to this code of conduct, you will reap the benefits of this. Optimal function, you will enjoy it because I have a purpose. This is my shoe. This is my shoe, right?
Yeah.
This is my shoe. It was created to cover my feet. It can be used as a pair of slippers. It can be used as a regular shoe. I can use it to kill rats. I can use it to kill mosquitoes. But the main function was to protect the feet. And the shoe will never find fulfillment until finds a feet to protect. If you hang it on the wall in a shop, it will never reach the highest fulfillment because it's just hanging in a shop. All of us, we have a purpose, but we need to find it and refine it and give it commercial value. The fact that you're okay doesn't mean you're fulfilling destiny. So I'm asking you now, how do I know I'm fulfilling destiny?
Like I said, seriously, I got to a point, when I left OAU, I got to a point where I told God, see, this prayer that I want to do, I will die. I will die on my knees. Except I hear your voice. I must hear you, And I prayed. I really wanted to know. My prayer was, why am I here? That's what I asked God. I said, why am I here? I learned from a wise man, if I can call him that. He said that there are two important days to any man or woman: the day you were born and the day you know why. The day you were born and the day you know why.
Mm.
You know, and I told God, I said, I want to know why. You know, I don't want to group in darkness. I want to be in the light. I want to know why I'm here. And of course, God did not answer that night, and I didn't die. I threatened him, and he didn't jail for my threat.
God, that is carry your paper in your hands, my friend. You think I'm playing with you?
You know? So, but honestly, after that night, God showed me certain things, you know, and I was, it really helped me pattern my life. It helped me a lot. So I think people will have different ways of hearing from God. And I always say people, as long as you have it in your spirit that you want to hear from him, you have tuned your ears to hear from him, you will hear. Because you would learn the pattern at which he speaks
To
to
you.
you. Yes, it might take a while, but you must desire it. It is that desire that makes you really, really get it. Now, I also told a few friends of mine that if you start a business for the purpose of making money, you can only go thus far because the purpose is to make money. So once you make money, that's the end of the business. But when the purpose is to make impact, you stay very long, because with impact even comes money. And once you make impact, you want to make more impact. That's what you want to do. You understand? People get a lot of, you know, their purpose and fulfillment in life by setting goals. They set goals for themselves. Check this out. Somebody said something. I went for a meeting and he said, imagine you have C. Ronaldo, you have Messi, you have Okocha, you have all those great guys, 22 of them. You have them on a playing field and there's no goalpost. Do you understand? There'll be no fulfillment. So there must be
no measure, no nothing.
No measure. They will just be kicking the ball around. There's nothing to see. Okay? So there has to be goalposts. That's the same thing with you setting goals. Setting goals brings out the hidden treasures you have on the inside of you. And then somehow you begin to find your best strength. Somehow you begin to find your best way of impacting other people. Because fulfillment a lot of times comes from you being an impact, positive impact on other people. So setting goals goes a long way for you. So I think setting goals will help you. I also will say to you, tune your ear to the frequency of heaven. Desire to hear from God. Make yourself busy. Make sure that you find something in your hands. The Bible says that he will bless the work of your hands. You understand what I'm saying? So make yourself busy. Make sure that you're up and doing. And it's just the way it is.
Wow, absolutely phenomenal. I love the ideology of the goalpost. That's really good. You know, so I was thinking as you were speaking about fulfillment. You know, your life is too small to be the essence of your life. You come to the world to just be, and then after you now what happens, you know? And it's amazing because what we celebrate on social media is me, myself, and I. As a matter of fact, that's what selfie means. Look at me, you know? So we live in a selfie world, with a selfish world. You know, even when they do, the do is not to do because God requires. They're doing to be seen. So they do, okay, take my photo, I get the right angle. I want to give this woman. And the Bible says, do not let your left hand see what your right hand is giving. You know, so all these things we do, and we don't get the fulfillment because we're breaking laws. There are laws that govern the earth. Laws that are, these laws are nebulous. They are not, you know, associated to only Christians, only Muslims. They are laws that, natural laws. And if you align with those laws, you get the benefits. if you break those
It's true.
laws, you reap the consequences of those, the laws, So I was just thinking, share with us one experience that, how people let you down, close the door in your face, and then you start to second guess yourself and this is because this season has made a lot of people second guess themselves. They've lost
True.
jobs, they've lost their identities. Their identity has been tied to like job banking for like a long time, and now they've lost it. Where do they start from? Where do they begin from? So you share
Yeah.
with us one time that a door was shut in your face and you said to yourself, no, I'm done. And you cried and you wept. Those voices in your head were telling you, hey, Michael, I told you are not. Those voices that make you just condemn you. So share with us
Mm.
so that you can give us practical tools so that when those things happen to us, how do we overcome them?
Woo, amazing. You know me, eh? Hey, Jesus is Lord. Oh. Um, I have a few, you know, man, a lot of times, the truth is that if you always want to hear from God, even conscience is a type of the
The
voice
Holy
of God.
Spirit, yes.
And I like one part of the Bible that says that it said, once has he spoken, twice have you heard. When somebody interpreted it, he said the first time you heard was when he said it. He said the second time you heard was a consequence of either your obedience or your disobedience.
So no, the Baron. So no, the Baron.
Exactly. So so that's it. Okay. I had this experience. I don't have so many experiences like that, but I have two like that. Very close to death for me. You know. Okay, let me start with when I was in OAU, there was this young boy. Of course, he should be a man now. He was a boy then, God, we're boys. Every Friday, he would give me money. This is 94. He would give me money, 100,000 naira. We were teenagers. 94, I was 17 years old. Come on. He would give me 100K every Friday. And by, I think by Wednesday, he would have finished spending it. Then he will go again by Wednesday. By Friday, he will come again. He will give me another one, maybe 150,000. But he finishes the money every week. And I know him. I know, say this boy, in Papa no oh, that kind of thing. One day, however, after he had given me the money, it was a Friday. He had given me the money on Friday morning. So I had 100K bulging in my pocket. And he started collecting. And then I think by 7 o'clock in the evening, he came to my room. I was in Adekunle Faji Hall. Came to my room and said, greatest And then he called me and he said, Michael, I want to take you somewhere. Follow me. So I went with him. And he took me to Angola Hall. So I got to Angola Hall. They had this hall in Angola. I think it was supposed to be like their cafeteria. Angola was not as developed as our hall and Faji. So I think it was supposed to be like their cafeteria. But boys had pool tables there. They would play pool, shoot pool, and all that, that kind of thing. So he took me there, and guys were playing pool. Playing pool, and nobody was looking at me. I just saw that he would go from one table to the other. He's going to speak to this guy, and that guy continues playing pool, and he says, yes, they were smoking and drinking and stuff. Then after he went through all the tables, he now came back to me, I said, follow me. Then he took me, we went to White House. That's the sciences. So from the sciences, he started taking me. We were going through medicals. And somebody had told me that if they take you, you have passed sciences. You are not going to medical. You are going to join something. So someone already told me that. You know, so I had the money bulging in my back pockets. And something told me that they are taking you away because of this money. I was following him. When we went past White House and we're going to law, from law we will go to medicals. I know that's a journey. I stopped. We were the only two people walking on the road. I don't know how devil did it that day. It was just me and him. He noticed that there was no footstep behind him any longer. So he took a 360 and looked back at me. By the time he got to me, I had pulled out the bulging Naira notes and I pointed it back at him. And he looked at me and said, is that it? I said, yeah. We didn't say anything. That was the only thing we said. He said, is that it? I said, yes. Then he collected the money. Then I did a 360 or 180 and I went back to Fajri Hall. And the guy is dead now. And it's been this life, but I was very close to saying yes. Very, very close to saying yes, because I was broke, sister. And this is me. I had the opportunity of 100K every Friday. I was 17, you know, and I always look back at that day and I always say, thank you for giving me the strength and enablement. I was born again, but the money was taking me away. You know, I was just thanking God that God gave me the boldness to say no.
But
and,
did you know what he was trying to make you do?
No. I was going to join a cult. That's it. I was going to join a cult that night. That's it. And I found out later that they were not just cultists because they met. No, they were cultists who robbed. They used to rob. They used to go for robberies or operations. Yeah. They used to do that. You know, so that was it. However, I had another experience in my life. Yeah. There's this friend of mine who I used to, go out with. We used to preach, actually. Now, my going out with him was not because I wanted to preach. I loved the things of God, but my going out with him was also because I would make some money from whatever we do. I'll be able to sustain myself. I'll find myself useful. Actually, okay, that time, yeah, I had issues with being bored and being lazy. You get what I'm saying? There was nothing to do. Everything was just there. So I found this guy who said, Michael, let's go out. So I just thought, wow, so I can be useful. Oh yeah, let's go. I started following this guy. So one day we went to Owerri. So I got to Owerri and they started speaking, because I don't understand Igbo, yeah? And of course, they were more comfortable with their language. I can't blame them. So they would speak a lot of Igbo. I didn't understand. So anytime they said, okay, can we go out and stuff like that? I said, I'm not going out because the out we want to take me to. You're taking me to another village. You start speaking Igbo. I won't understand. I'll be by myself. So let me stay here by myself anyways. And that was it. I decided to, after about 1 hour that they had left, I now decided to take a walk by myself. I saw a path that goes into the bush. Now I love nature, so I walked into the bush. My sister, I had trekked like an hour without knowing it. I had gone inside an hour without knowing it. Suddenly I started hearing children's voices because I was the only one in the whole forest, walking all by myself, just observing the trees, looking at squirrels, rats and all that, rodents. I don't know why I did that to myself. Then suddenly, I started hearing voices of children, like they were afraid. Either they were afraid or they were playing. That's the way it sounded in my ears. Then when I looked ahead, and I saw that there was bamboo staked together. So it looked as if I had arrived at a village in that forest. So I said, this might be trespassing. Let me just turn back. So I turned back to lead back to the village I came in from. Before I knew it, I started hearing legs. There was a mob behind me. When I turned and saw the mob, these were guys, able-bodied guys. Come and see chest. They were not wearing anything. They only had shorts on. They had axe, they had cutlass, they had clubs in their hands, and they were coming at me. I just knew that there was no place to run. How? I can't survive. This thing looked like Nollywood movie to me. From their midst came out one small boy. I know it wasn't a small boy. You know them Aki and Popo, right? Yes. He came out from their midst and he raised his hand like they should stop. And they stopped. And this young person, he looked like a 10-year-old or a 7-year-old. He was just small. He just looked at me and called me. I was like 22 or 23. Just said, "So young man, what are you doing here?" From his voice, it was his voice that made me know that this is not a child. Say, "Young man, what are you doing here?" I said, and I started speaking the English that I know. I said, "Well, I came to so village with my friends. I was bored, so I didn't follow them out." So I explained everything in detail, the way I know. Then I took a walk. I saw a path in the bush. I went in. I was enjoying the scenery. I liked the rodents. I liked the trees. I saw different things. But I now started hearing the voices of children. So I thought that this must be a hamlet. I must leave now. So I decided to take my leave. And the young man went back to the mob, spoke with them. My sister, they were determining my life and destiny at that time. They wanted to determine what they're going to do with me. So they whispered to themselves. Then the boy came forward, looked at me. "Young man, you can go." I turned back. I said, "Thank you." See, as I arrived one corner, if you see the run where I run, Bouquet.
You know, in the cartoon, before they take off, they first roll.
If you see me run where I run, Bouquet, hey, my life. I've never run like that. I didn't feel my legs. I didn't know I had legs. I was gone. I shall go back to the village. Guess what? When my friend came back from the village they went to, I narrated the story to them. They didn't believe me. They didn't believe me. In fact, I'm sharing the story. I don't believe myself now. Because I look, my sister, I look back every day and I thank God that story happened to me. It happened to me. Oha. Every time there's something like a mob action on people, I always thank God that that could have been me years ago. I remember those 4 boys, one village in River State. I think they were youth coppers. They took them for armed robbers. Their video was everywhere. They hit their head. You could see their brain oozing out of their skull. Amazing. And when I saw it, I wept. Because I knew that that would have been me. So honestly, I have learned to be grateful at all times. I've learned never to look at people on Instagram and compare my life with them. I've learned to be grateful. It's amazing. I see people don't know something. The pictures you see on Instagram, they are planned. When they
Filter.
are taking they are filtered. People smile to take picture. They don't take picture when they are crying. Don't let anybody hurt you. In all ways, please be grateful. I have learned to be grateful. It changed me. It changed my ministry to that of joy. I told God, I said, see, I don't want to ask you questions again. I want to start operating from answers. I don't want to operate from questions. I don't want to operate from God, why am I not like this yet? No. We walk by faith and not by sight. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want to keep seeing my circumstance. I want to see where you are taking me to. That's all I want to do. And from now on, I want to be known as the apostle of joy. That's what I told God. I said, anytime they say Mike Abdul is coming anywhere, let people know that they are dancing today. Because I have every reason to continually be grateful and thank God. That experience changed my life forever.
Wow. Can we get 40? We love you, Mike Abdul. Can we get 40? We love you, Mike Abdul. Listen, that is an awesome testimony. I was
Thank you.
expecting you to get to a point and say, so I now woke up. It was a dream. I was telling you. No, but man, that is so awesome. And God spared you for a purpose. And we have 6 minutes left. But I want you to, because this is what all you're saying is so profound. What we do here is we practically equip people so that when they get to that point, you know, they can say, no, I heard Mike say one day that this is how to, you know, overcome ingratitude. What I do is whenever, you know, I'm ungrateful, I start to count my blessing.
Honestly,
So my tooth is okay, my eye is okay, my this one. I start counting. By the time you start counting, if you can get through it, it would overcome ingratitude for you. And you know that is so awesome. And we have 6 minutes left, but you know, just in case this thing cuts off, I want to say thank you so much for coming to Bouqui'S place. You really encouraged us and all that. But before you go, I want you to practically equip us now, because you've given us practical tools and all that. What keeps you going? I know that joy is your fuel. It's like it's gasoline. In the morning, you wake up and you sniff joy. You know, we know that that's joy for you. But what else? If I'm down now, I've lost my job, I've lost people to this thing going on. How do I find my voice? How do I move from where I am?
Okay. I said something somewhere. I said commitment, dedication, and consistency. It's just what it is. Commit yourself to something, okay, that God has put in your hand. Be dedicated to it, okay, and be consistent about it. It works wonders. Says that a man who is diligent in his works, he will stand before kings, not before men. It's just the way it is. It doesn't matter how slow it looks, you have to keep at it, because eventually you will get to that point. I'm going to buttress something you said, Bouquet. A lot of times we enter depression because we're looking at the things we don't have. So because we're looking at the things we don't have, we forget to see the things we have and be grateful for them. These are things that should keep us going. We keep setting goals, you understand what I'm saying, and we keep achieving. I say God bless you. God bless you real good. Thank you for having me.
My girl. Listen, man, you're awesome. You guys as a group and you as a solo artist, you guys have done what a lot of Christian artists couldn't do. I mean, Igwe broke through the roof. I mean,
thank you so much.
I used to, you know, I was in Yankee. I'll be like, I know them. They were like, no. I'm like, let me call my phone. Of course, you won't pick the phone, so I can't pose with you. No, but really, you did something that broke through. I mean, if someone like me had a song that broke through, they'll say, Bouquie sings hip hop now. You took touch song Do you understand what I'm saying?
True.
You brought it and
True.
it broke through the charts. And for that, we
Yes.
are eternally grateful for what you guys did in the history
Thank you so
of
much.
music
Thank
to
you.
the world,
Thank you.
And we got you, man. What's your latest song? What's your latest project?
Oh yeah, I got a song called Jesumida. Yes, so Jesumida. Odoji Tojo. Odoji Tajo. Lati Wale.
Where
Jesu
can we
Kore.
get it?
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, everywhere. Boomplay, it's everywhere.
Can
Jesumida
you
by Mike Abdul.
can you sing one of my favorite? Morire, morire, morire,
Ay, mama.
Thank you so much,
Thank you very
Michael,
much.
man. If you
Thank you so much,
had
darling.
to throw everything away and hold on to one experience, what would you hold on to in your life?
I think it's I think the one I will hold on to is when I told God I want to know why. That changed my life, actually. I want to know why. And since then, I've always learned to stay at my post. That's where He has put me. I believe that when God says that this is the place, that's about the only place you can never fail in life.
You just said, Mike Abdul, call me. You know that joke now that everybody is saying, somebody call me. Well, I don't want to run over what you just said. Your grace is in your place. Stay
That's
where
true.
you are planted and stop complaining or comparing. Thank you
That's
so much,
it.
Mike Abdul. We love you. This is going to show
Thank
me
you.
20 seconds.
Yes, 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 yes.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Yes, sir.
Morire, morire, morire.
That's it. Woo!
Man, thank you so much. 29 seconds
Thank you.
remaining. God bless you. You guys go download his new song. It's on every platform. Mike will love you. We got you. God bless you. And see
Thank
you.
you so much.
And if you text me and say that thing was a joke, I will. That thing was a joke. It didn't really happen. It was a Nollywood script.
No,
But
no,
God
no, it
bless
happened.
you,
It
man.
happened.
We love you so
Thank
much.
you.
More grace,
All
more
right, darling.
love.